it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda with SailM8. I'm here with Paul Farrell. He goes by Doc, and we're here at Half Moon Bay in San Diego. It's a beautiful day. Sun's just setting, and we just got together. We're here at his Spin Doctor is his boat, and we're just gonna talk with him a little bit about his boat and what are you doing now in the sailing community? What types of things?
Okay, so right now we're at the end of. Cool. We'll start the story backwards. We're at the end of 20 years of amateur working up to this point. Right now, we are on our work up to transpac. So we're next summer. It's August now. Next June, we're gonna sail to Hawaii out of Long Beach, California, and we're gonna race at 2,000 miles.
Wow.
And we're in the middle of our work up to that, which I think it kind of all started when we did Puerto Vallarta in April.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're in the middle of our campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with Puerto Vallarta, you were kind of like just feeling ready to do more?
I think our goal was always transpac.
Yeah.
It's a bucket list thing, you
Yeah.
know? It's like, all right, you sail. Well, what's the ultimate? What do you want to do? You want to go sail to Hawaii with your buddies?
Yeah.
And win if you can, right?
Right.
And so, as I looked at what does it take to race your boat safely and well to Hawaii, you got to do other long races. And so Puerto Vallarta was the natural lead up,
I
right?
see. Right.
And they alternate years, and so it was just seemed.
Yeah.
So we did that, which was half the distance, little over 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
And so, what types of things have you done in the past? Like, what types of boats have you had? And
So I started sailing out of this marina just about 20 years ago.
wow.
I had moved here 22 years ago, and my best friend, literally from back east high school, had a 22-foot S2 right behind us over there on Main Dock.
Okay.
This yellow boat, and he had taught sailing in graduate school to make money to get through school, and so he
Yeah.
loved sailing, and I had done sailing in Boy Scouts and then hadn't touched it until I was an adult. And we moved here and we started sailing every weekend together.
Cool.
That's how it all started. It was right there. And then after a year of that, a 1965 Coronado came for sale in front of him named Maverick.
Okay.
And I bought the boat for $4,000 or some
wow.
thing silly, you know?
Yeah.
And it had fiberglass like this thick on it. It was a great boat to learn on. You could bonk the rocks and and that's where it all began, right over there, you know, and it was just myself and my friends, and when there's two boats next to each other,
yeah.
you're racing.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. That's the natural progression
Who's
of
gonna
it.
Who's gonna go
Yeah.
faster?
Yeah.
And learning how to make the boat go, and then so it was a leisure sport,
yeah.
and something to take your date or your wife or your dog or whatever
Yeah.
and get out in the outdoors in the sun, and then this horrible thing happened. A guy on the dock here walked up to us one day and said, "Hey, you guys want to learn how to race?" A guy named Bo. He just bought a Beneteau 36.7. It was right over there.
Yeah.
And what a silly fella. Instead of recruiting all the guys from the yacht club that know how to sail, he asked us instead to Mexico. You know, and so those things started to come up, and then I realized, well, I got this little old boat that I can't even hoist a spinnaker on. And that's when we started to say, oh, all right, let's look for another boat. And so a guy that I was racing with on that boat was a boat dealer.
Okay.
Okay, you want to buy a boat that can race? Come on.
Nice.
We looked around, and so we ended up buying a CNC 34, 1981 CNC 34 out of Dana Point. It was named Double Down. And it had done the beer cans and some Ensenada runs, And so we bought that in 2004
Okay.
and put it over there on B dock.
Okay.
Well, and it's
Cool.
still there.
Cool.
After we sold it a couple of years ago, it's still there. They changed the name again. And gosh, we put new sails on it and we won the beer cans.
Fun.
And then we went and won the Little Ensenada run and got on the trophy over at Southwestern Yacht Club and said, well, this is fun. You know?
Yeah.
And got hooked.
Yeah. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, I got hooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that wasn't expensive or hard or you know, it was just weekend fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what about Spin Doctor? What's the story with Spin Doctor?
So that is probably the culmination, or at least a big large step of the journey of having gotten sucked in.
Yeah.
You know, and realizing, well, okay, I was never really good at sports.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Right.
and suddenly you're in a sport that as an adult, you can use your brain and some physical fitness all at the same time and excel, and you can compete against both amateurs and pros at the same time and compete with them.
Yeah.
You know, I had the opportunity to sail on some boats where pros would come on board and teach you things.
Right.
And all of a sudden you learn and get better and go, well, and then you get invited.
Yeah.
You know, and then suddenly you're invited to go sail on this boat, and you go, well, I must have learned something well. And so it's literally 19, 20 years later now.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the time's all gone.
Yeah.
But suddenly then my professional life went well, and I had the means and said, well, we need a boat that we can race to Hawaii on, and I don't want it to take 2 weeks. I want to get there quick. You know? And so was racing with a pro that was also a boat dealer, and we said, well, let's go start looking. And we were looking at J120s and J125s, and we were looking at you know, a lot of custom boats, but in that sort of PHRF -10 to +20 range of fastness, you know. And we also were looking at, well, we wanted a boat that could get up and go when the wind is big, so that you know, I guess some people call it a sport boat, or you know, a boat that can get up on plane, and that's what this is. So you know, we end up with a 39.5-foot all carbon fiber boat that weighs 3,000 pounds less than my 34-footer.
Yeah.
11,000 pounds total.
Wow.
And the boat, the maximum that we've had it going is 22.5 knots.
Nice.
In about 25 knots of wind.
Yeah.
On our way from Newport to Ensenada, where we ended up in second in the whole fleet of 130 boats.
Wow. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
And darn close to first.
Wow.
We think we hit a sunfish. That was sad along the way.
No.
Yeah, a big thud, and we had to stop for a half hour and check for damage, and that's when we lost sight of the first place boat.
Oh man.
And then finally realized that we were good to go, and the boat stood up well, and we got up and went again, and ended up in second.
Oh, good.
That's
nice.
cool.
Congratulations. That was
great.
a good feat. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, literally starting 20 years ago from someone that was just leisurely sailing in a 50-year-old boat to now racing against amateurs and pros alike and winning, and
that's nice.
On the West Coast in one of the best sailing cities in the world.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Yep. We're blessed for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say like a tip would be for people who are either just getting into sailing or racing, I guess, people who are just getting into racing? What's something that you could, you know, some advice that you could give, or a tip?
I think it depends on where they are in their journey.
Okay.
But I would say don't underestimate your own ability to learn and become awesome.
Yeah.
You know, you spend your whole life with the world telling you no.
Yeah.
And I realized, well, and I didn't have to realize it, when you get called and invited to sail on these bitchin' boats with a bunch of pros, when you have pros sailing on your boat that aren't charging you, you realize we're on our game.
Yeah.
We're doing all right, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I dare to dream that.
Mm-hmm.
Dare to dream that, and be humble and learn, be a sponge. Go learn.
Yeah.
Get on every boat you can.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I sailed every opportunity that somebody said, hey, we need crew. All right.
Yeah.
And all at the same time doing those on other boats while being a boat owner, I just got involved and I said yes.
Yeah.
Show up.
We're super excited to get you on board with the SailM8 sponsorship program. We'll have to get, some crew shirts and hats and get all the things that are exciting.
Well,
and
we're stoked.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to share with others what we've done.
Yeah.
I think it's important. As sailors, we want more sailors.
Yeah.
Come and sail with us.
Yeah.
Go sailing. Do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
That's what we did, and here we are.
Yeah, growing and some more.
And dare to dream a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
Like dare to dream a little bit.
Yeah, and encouraging that is
right.
important.
Yeah, and no matter what level you're at, there's always someone here, and there's always someone here, and reach out in both directions.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's true, absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
talking
you.
today.
Yeah.